Hey guys, so I really wasn't doing much today. At the same time, I was thinking about how much in the mood I was to watch some anime, and I've been debating it, and I think the best option right now is to, well, I have some anime lying around, and we could just pop one of those in and have a watch. What do you say? I think it'd be a good time. Actually, guys, this is kind of embarrassing, but I'm not entirely sure where I put my last anime, so I'm gonna have to go looking for that. No, that's not anime. Definitely not anime. Okay, well, that is anime, but not the kind I'm looking for right now. Where did I put that? Wait a second, I know where it is. Oh my god. So freaking stupid. Let's see what he got here. Bob's Big Break in Monster 3D. Try that one. Well, okay, whatever. The Wild, that's always a classic. I mean, people say it's like that other one, Madagascar, but I really don't see any similarities if I'm being honest. Okay, Mr. Popper's Penguins. Has some good animation, and the songs are pretty good. Great soundtrack, and of course. Shorts. The Adventures of the Wishing Rock. Not So Tall Tales from the director of Spy Kids. That's always a classic. But oh, wait a second. There's nothing there. Well, I'm sorry, guys, but it seems like I'm fresh out of anime DVDs, and without anime DVDs, you can't really watch anime for free, so that's unfortunate. Wait a second. I have one last idea.
Please tell me this is some type of alien abduction.
And you could have it all. My empire of dirt.
I don't get you. I don't get how you do what you do. I don't get how, even with the bad acting, the horrible jokes, and that god-awful laugh track, you still manage to bring in millions of viewers who are willing to sit through your garbage. I don't get you, Disney Channel, but what I don't get most of all is how I used to like you too. The strange part is, and yes, it feels weird saying this, there's not enough people really complaining about it. You'd think that the internet, the same people who are willing to murder over a Ghostbusters movie or whatever indie horror game is popular for a month, would be honored to rip these shows to shreds. But no, not really. While you'll find a great amount of Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network rants across the web, the Disney Channel ones are a lot less common. It's even harder to find a Disney Channel sucks type discussion or video that doesn't just amount to, it's bad because it's not the old shows, only play the old shows, get rid of all the new shows and bring back the old shows.
But now the Disney Channel just kinda sucks. I turned it on the other day and I got so depressed. The shows aren't that funny, so here's my thought. Disney Channel, if you're watching this video, bring back the classics.
But come on, I've heard others say this and I still don't think there's enough emphasis on it. This is Disney. It's easy to forget that the same people who made stuff like this...
I'm bad, and that's good. I will never be good, and that's not bad. There's no one I'd rather be than me.
also make stuff like this. Okay, yeah, it's a different crew, it's a different section of business, it's not exactly the same people, but it is the same company. Of course, I'm not gonna act like I'm above anyone here. Opinions exist, and again, I used to watch this channel too at one point. I'm not sure if it got bad, if it's been bad, or what, but I guess I'll try and find out or whatever. I don't know. If I have to, I guess. Just, please, for the love of God, Disney Channel, have mercy. The last Disney Channel sitcom I watched was Good Luck Charlie. Well, okay, that's like not true at all. I watched about half of Ant Farm and probably the majority of Jessie as well, but the last one I actually kept up with throughout and really cared about was Good Luck Charlie. Shut up, whatever, it wasn't that bad.
Behold! Termite eggs!
Shut up, it gets better!
Go, my baby! Go!
It's probably the most popular of the 2010s Disney shows, so thank God, because I wouldn't want it to be any of the other ones.
I've been there, I survived, so just take my advice.
Hang in there, baby. Things are crazy, but I know you'll be just fine.
fine.
A couple months after the premiere of Good Luck Charlie, a new show, Shake It Up, was released, and I don't think I've met anyone who actually liked it.
Everybody get out on the floor. It can get a little crazy.
Its reviews were bad, even for a Disney show, but it still somehow survived 3 years on the channel. How? Who liked this? Shake It Up follows two sassy and relatable teenage girls as they run their very own dance show, complete with petty arguments and wacky brother side characters. I think what sets this apart as worse than some of the other shows are these two right here. Not that they can't act, most Disney stars can't do that, but they're so obnoxious. Look how hard that one's trying. Zendaya is becoming increasingly more popular and has moved on to a TV movie, her own Disney Channel show that I'll get to, and starring in the new Spider-Man movie somehow, while Bella Thorne has an Adam Sandler movie, mostly ghostly, and an animated film so bad that it was taken out of theaters before even being released. I brought up Shake It Up as many see it as the beginning of a downfall, as the beginning of bad shows on Disney, and as a start to something worse. But who's to say that's true? Most people who complain about Disney Channel haven't actually seen most of all the modern stuff. I mean, I haven't. So these are the shows we're really gonna look at, the ones after Shake It Up, just to see if I'm wrong about this whole thing.
Everybody's got.
I mentioned that I watched about half of Ant Farm prior to making this video. Looking back, it's admittedly forgettable. In fact, Disney cares so little about it, they released an entire episode of it on their YouTube channel, and that's when it was still on the air. The show itself is very similar to Nick's Victorious, in that super smart / talented kids go to school together. Its Google page calls it the Glee of Disney, but not really, because only the main girl sings, and also Glee was successful. Jokes aside, the fact that I've only been using other shows to describe this show should really tell you just how interesting Ant Farm is. And the only reason that show is more remembered than this one is because it's, well, louder and dumber. I'd actually argue that this is a lot better than Victorious. It does a lot more with its premise. Although, when they do run out of ideas, they come up with episodes like China is thrilled to meet Madame Goo Goo and gets her phone number, however she loses it in dough during a fortune cookie factory visit and the ants must help her find it. What? The similarities don't just end at Victorious, as it seems that even a few notes have been taken from iCarly. For example, this lady, Mindy Sterling, who you may recognize from iCarly and kind of have to feel bad for, seeing as she spent 7 whole years of her life and career as a school principal in Nickelodeon and Disney TV sitcoms.
What is it like working on Ant Farm?
Oh wait, she was in Minions, I don't care. Ant Farm also does that Sam and Freddy thing, as in the two side characters who basically hate each other throughout the series later start dating each other for some reason. I know this type of thing really isn't specific to iCarly, but the way it's done is very similar, right down to the main character of both shows having no idea that their friends kissed, and the others have to desperately try and keep the secret. Oh, yeah, spoilers, but I don't think anyone cares. Oh, by the way, by the time all this started happening, I had already stopped watching the show, which is kind of strange because things actually started changing while I was gone. In addition to the dating subplot, the kids also moved to a new facility. Initially, I thought these changes were pretty cool, seeing as the show is actually progressing, but then I realized that like all Disney shows do this, and only to boost poor ratings and make those stupid commercials that are all like, "Whoa, on a special new episode of Ant Farm, the kids are moving to a new facility. Wow, what kind of wacky and zany new adventures could they go on there? Ooh, watch and find out who."
One ant leaves Z-Tech forever.
Who even cares? It's the series finale. We're not gonna see any of them again. Anyway, Ant Farm is a fine show. The below average acting and dumbest jokes are pretty standard for the network, but at least it's more mundane than some of the rest. Oh, yeah, and it's also not Shake It Up, so I'll let you pass, Ant Farm.
Hey Jessie.
Jessie is the other sitcom I mentioned that I've watched most of, this one even more so than the last. I recall thinking Jessie was entertaining enough with some funny jokes, so to confirm my claim, I've decided to go back and take a look at the first few episodes of Jessie.
Nice velociraptor. Help! Help! I'm so afraid!
Oh no. Oh no, this is terrible. Listen, I don't know why I watched this for so long. I don't even know why it ran for so long. It's cheesy, it's poorly acted, and oh wait a second, so is every other Disney show, so that's why it ran for so long. I just answered my own question. Debbie Ryan, who Disney so lovingly plucked from an older show to attract more viewers, is Jessie, the 24-year-old nanny picked up off the streets of NYC to help raise a rich family of 4 children. With a hilarious cast of colorful characters such as the cute one that everyone says "aw" at when she says something a child normally wouldn't say.
That's Mr. Kipling. Yeah, Robbie's giant razor-toothed lizard.
But I'm not allowed to have a pony? That is cold.
That's my favorite line!
The jerk boy one who awkwardly goes through puberty halfway through.
Don't you think having a bunch of kids on our date is kind of gonna kill the mood?
Are you out of your mind? I have girl eyebrows!
The nerdy Indian one with an XD so funny accent.
I think my favorite part of the set is Ravi's room.
This is much more fun than playing Duck Duck Mongoose.
The dumb blonde one that says things that nobody in real life actually says.
I know, I'm Soup's jelly.
And the second coming of Jesus Christ.
They're taking Judy the Juicer! No! No!
Most of the humor usually just results to the characters insulting one another, which, if you don't know, is the highest form of comedy.
Since Emma and her stupid smartphone made the plane crash, when the food runs out, I say we cook her first. No! You're right, there's a lot more meat on Bertram.
Get it? He's fat. Do you get it? Oh, you get it? Well, we're just gonna tell you the same joke about 20 times each episode to make sure that you get it. If you noticed, I mentioned I watched most of this show, and most is not all, meaning I don't actually know how the series wrapped up. Just for curiosity's sake, I think I'll head to my nearest low-resolution upload of the final minutes of Jessie on YouTube and take a look. All you have to know is that Jessie is leaving the kids to be an actress in Hollywood.
Bertram, any chance you could help me take these to the limo?
Oh, I'd love to, but
It's so far. This has been the most amazing 4 years of my life.
We're really gonna do this.
Christina, thank you so much for taking a chance on me. I'm really gonna miss your kids.
Also, another thing, thank you for being such a bad mother that it took you over 4 seasons to realize, hey, maybe I should be there for my kids sometimes. Maybe I shouldn't have adopted 3 other children when I can barely even raise one of them. No, seriously, I literally wouldn't be here if it weren't for you right now. So thank you.
Bertram Winkle. You may not be the best butler, but you were the best friend I've ever had.
ditto. We made a pretty good team.
The best.
When you get famous enough to need a butler, and you will, give me a call.
I will. And I will have a couch ready for you to nap on, pre-stocked with plenty of cheese sandwiches. Zuri,
Oh God, with the music.
thanks for taking me in off the street. I can't believe you've grown from that adorable little girl to this confident, amazing young woman.
I can. After all, I had a great role model.
Okay, what? I...
Luke, somehow when I wasn't looking, you grew up. And you are incredible. Now, still gonna work hard at school even when I'm not here to bug you every day?
Of course, Jessie. Don't worry. I'll make you proud.
Nah.
Now, Ravi, you are the kindest, smartest, most unique person I've ever met. You have to promise me you're not gonna change for anyone.
I promise.
Emma, are you okay?
It's just that you'll be so far away. I'm afraid you'll forget about us.
Remember what I told you during your science project about how family members are like planets?
You said, even when they're far apart, the force of love keeps them together. No matter what.
And then they all come in for a great big group hug. How cute. Alright, let's go. We've heard the music. Come on.
Hey, Jessie. Any advice for me before you go?
This'll be good.
Just enjoy it. It feels like a party every day.
It feels like a party.
feels like a party every day.
It feels like a party every day.
It feels like a party every day. It feels like a party every day.
You're joking. You're actually joking. You see, the clever thing here is the line, "It feels like a party every day."
It feels like a party every day.
Is the same line we hear sung in the opening theme.
It feels like a party every day.
Look, I get what you're trying to do here with the sad music and we're never gonna see Jessie again and we're supposed to take it seriously and this is a fun little callback, but really, if you want the scene to be realistic and heartfelt, you can't make a character respond to a legitimate question with a catchphrase or a line from their own theme song. That's not realistic. In other words, you're giving Full House a run for its money in the cheesiness department. Oh, yeah, and the 2 more group hugs afterwards don't help. Okay, so obviously Jessie is a dumb show. The jokes, the characters, they're all dumb. But despite what the finale shows us, it really isn't shake it up bad, it's mostly a harmless dumb. At least Jessie herself, as well as Bertram the butler, aren't the worst actors and can be somewhat entertaining at times. Jessie is nothing better or worse than a dumb show. With Ant Farm and Jessie out of the way, it's time to move on to the recent sitcoms that I've never seen but always assumed were horrible based on the commercials alone, beginning with Liv and Maddie. I guess Disney Channel looked at the success of Adam Sandler's Shaq and Jill and was like, we want in on this, as Liv and Maddie follows 2 sisters, Liv and Maddie, portrayed by the same actress, Dove Cameron. As first impressions go, I'll admit the theme song doesn't sound bad. Okay, well, it sounds like a 2010s Disney Channel pop song, but it fits, it's catchy, and it's fine.
When you say yeah, I say no. When you say stop, all I wanna do is go, go, go. You, the other half of me, the half I'll never be, the half that drives me crazy.
Liv and Maddie's pilot episode, Twin-a-Rooney. Oh, yeah, it's called this because the family's last name in the show is Rooney. Disney likes to do that thing where they theme each episode title based on the show. You know the thing. Friends did it, iCarly did it. Sometimes it works, other times it just makes you sound stupid when you say the title of an episode. Look, this one just gave up after 5. Anyway, Liv and Maddie's pilot episode, Twin-a-Rooney, introduces us to the Rooney family. The slightly oblivious basketball coach father, the slightly overprotective therapist mother, the awkward geek brother Joey, and Parker is just Gabe Duncan from Good Luck Charlie. He's mischievous, he's a troublemaker, he's just Gabe. Then of course we have Liv and Maddie. Initially when I saw the promos for this show, I kinda assumed that Liv was the pretty popular and dumb one, while Maddie was the unpopular, nerdy, and smart one. Upon watching the show, this actually isn't the case. Liv is the more peppy one with a career in Hollywood, while Maddie is the more grounded one, being the leader of a basketball team. Liv is not dumb and Maddie is not a nerd, which is a relief. The episode begins with Liv coming home to Wisconsin after a 4-year trip to LA.
Family photo time. Okay, let me see if I can do this. Okay, that's the best.
Make it face up.
Okay, I'm learning. The good side of my face. Hold on, learning.
Haha, look at the dysfunctional family being all dysfunctional and stuff. Later, Maddie tells her sister about a boy she likes, and then we stop the show for an entire minute to watch Dove Cameron's music video. This scene is trying to show that Liv isn't listening to her sister, but we really don't need to watch a music video to understand that this is just advertisement. So to make up for their little argument, Liv attempts to get Maddie a date for the dance by posing as her sister and asking out her crush Diggy. Yeah, they do the switcheroo trick a lot in the show, but that's kind of the point. Diggy rejects Liv dressed as Maddie, and then drama.
No, Liv, you are not trying to help me. I told you to leave Diggy alone, but the great Liv Rooney just had to step in and try and fix my life. Well, guess what? My life doesn't need fixing. Oh, it was so much easier being your sister when you were 2,000 miles away. I wish you never came home.
It is then revealed that Diggy only rejected Liv because he knew it was really Liv and not Maddie.
I said no because I knew it was Liv.
What?
Yeah, she, didn't do that cute thing you do with your charm bracelet when you're nervous.
And finally, we get the worst part of the episode.
Liv, if you're leaving, you should probably take this with you.
Wow. Remember when you two made that? Sisters by chance, friends by choice.
So corny.
You'll always be sisters, honey. But it's hard to be best friends if you're 2,000 miles away.
What, you think I'm just gonna fall to pieces over a second grade art project? Maddie.
No, you cannot do that. You can't just take an object that we've never seen before with absolutely no foreshadowing or even mentioning of it, show it to one of the characters, and all of the conflict is resolved. You can't do that. This piece of art is meaningless to us. We've never seen nor heard anything about it. Therefore, we cannot feel for the characters when they see it. This is like if in Toy Story, when Woody and Buzz are mad at each other, Woody says, "Hey Buzz, you can't be mad. Look at this pony I bought for you off screen. Remember that?" "Yeah, I remember that. Let's be friends again." The worst part is that this sisters by chance garbage appears and is referenced multiple times throughout the series. Oh, did I mention there's some uninteresting subplot about the brothers building a man cave or something? No? Well, there is one. So that was the first episode of Liv Maddie. It was basically a bunch of petty drama with a cheesy ending, but there is something I noticed looking at the next episode. Look, this is the first joke in the second episode, Team Rooney.
Parker, what do you want in your lunch? Apple or banana?
Keep going until you get to cupcake.
Okay, now this is the first joke in the first episode, Twin Rooney.
More, up more. Down a tiny bit. Perfect. Twin sister officially welcomed. Bam! What? Okay.
Ugh. Okay, so I think something may be going on here. I feel like in order to appeal to Disney and ensure their series would continue, Liv and Maddie need to put emphasis on their awful catchphrases and a sappy ending in the first episode because that's what Disney Channel likes. Not saying they get rid of all that past the first episode, there are actually 2 catchphrases that feel more forced every time they're used.
Bam! What?
Challenge accepted!
But I don't think the first episode, nor the first season for that matter, really represent the show accurately. Because remember when I said Liv isn't dumb? Well, up until the season 1 finale, she kinda is, in addition to being a stuck-up snobby Hollywood brat.
Freedom? Try loss of freedom. Who wants to drive when you can sit shotgun and text until your thumbs fell off? Not me.
In fact, most of the first season is comprised of, haha, look, Maddie is a tomboy and Liv is a girly girl. Isn't that so crazy?
Okay, so I'm thinking red carpet, designer gowns. We enter Cirque du Soleil style, spiraling in on silks. I'm thinking peanut shells on the floor, steaks the size of our heads. We enter hungry man style in our casual eating pants.
By the second season, this does change, which I guess I could consider character development, but it may be more of Liv was annoying and now she's not. Liv's voice also changes, probably to distinguish between the 2 twins, but because Dove Cameron's not a voice actress, all she could do was make it super high.
I just finished the final season of my smash-tastic TV show.
Look at me talking to my good friend about the date that she went on with the guy I like. All kinds of mature.
But just because Liv isn't a brat anymore doesn't mean we can't have really predictable and awful sitcom plots.
So, Maddie, you sure about this partner of yours? Because she seems to have the habit of not showing up for Cheddar Bratfest.
Not going to work, Mom. The cheese roll is actually the first thing that Liv and I ever won together, and now that she's home, the Rooney twins are rock solid. We are rock solid, right, Liv?
Absolutely, Maddie. No way I'm missing the Cheddar Bratfest this year. I promise.
I wonder what's gonna happen.
I changed our premiere to tonight!
I'll miss the Cheddar Bratfest. I promised my sister that I would be there for the cheese roll.
Unless this cheese you're gonna roll cost $100 million to make. You're getting on that plane.
Fine. I guess I'm going. Wait, you're not going to the Cheddar Bratfest? Well, you promised me. I guess it must mean something different in Hollywood than it does in Wisconsin.
No, don't ooh. Liv obviously wanted to go to the dumb thing, but her dumb career thing has to happen early, so obviously she's gonna go with the dumb career thing because it's her career. Who cares if she promised? You're 16, get over it. The nice thing is, after the first season, Liv and Maddie work together more, and we have more time to focus on stuff like Liv's career and Maddie's love life, which is surprisingly a lot more interesting than it seems. But don't be too proud, because this show is about the most sitcom-y thing I've ever seen. Eventually, all the episode plots basically come down to one big decision. Should I be with this guy or this guy? Do I still like this guy or not? Should I sing or am I too scared? Should I go to college with Liv or not? It gets a bit old. At the end of the third season, the show pulls an ant farm when everyone has to move to California with an ant because Joey accidentally destroys the house. Joey accidentally causes like all the problems ever, actually.
No, I know. I thought you were gonna tell Maddie that you talked to Diggy about the dance.
Joey said that flight 725 is leaving at 10:38, so...
Actually, flight 1038 left at 7:25.
Joey, get out of the girls' locker room!
You startled me, so I just jumped back like this.
Okay, in that one you could have used Joey's phone or even walked out the door. Anyway, the last season is basically the same as the rest, but with a few new characters and a new location. The show ends when all the kids are going separate ways and the cast recites the theme song around a campfire, which sounds really cheesy, but it's got nothing on Jessie, so whatever.
You, the better half of me, half I always need. And we all know we're better in stereo.
If I had to use one word to describe Liv Maddie, it'd have to be sitcom. It's so sitcom-y. We got catchphrases and romance subplots and the opposing personalities gimmick. If you've seen a Disney sitcom, you've seen it before. Liv Maddie isn't completely garbage, it's far from Disney's worst and miles ahead of Jessie. The humor is kind of a mixed bag. Sometimes we get stuff like this, which is slightly clever.
Have you made your decision? I have, Heather.
This is it! This is the moment!
The person I want to join me on the International Space Station is to be continued.
No!
What's happening?
Dude, we got cliffhangered!
Evan, honey, sometimes a show ends a season with an unfinished moment to bring viewers back in for the next season.
What are we gonna do? We are gonna sit on this couch until season 3 starts.
And sometimes I don't know how things could get possibly less funny.
Would it cheer you up if funny man Adam Sandler stopped by?
How about we put a little smile on that face, little lady? You know why? Because nobody wants to see you cry at the airport!
And now it got less funny. Dove Cameron's acting is pretty good, better than most of the adults, but even that can't hide what Liv Maddie really is. Cheesy, uninspired schlock. Maybe some of that schlock has heart, but nonetheless, it's still schlock.
You're nothing but trouble, but trouble's what I like.
I Didn't Do It was a Disney Channel sitcom along with being a dumb slogan on one of those cheesy t-shirts your mom brought home to you when you were like 8. Much like those shirts, this TV series is nowhere near being cute, funny, relatable, or good in any way. Okay, that's a little harsh. On the shirts, at least they're just shirts. This is on another level. I Didn't Do It follows a group of 5 high school friends. Garrett, the cautious one, Jasmine, the popular one, Delia, the unpredictable one, Lindy, the quick thinking one, and her twin brother Logan, the one that gives me the desire to watch anything else.
Coast Guard. What do they do exactly?
Literally anything else. The show's gimmick is that each episode begins near the middle to end of the story with the group recapping us on the events leading up. Sounds interesting? It isn't. All this does is make the episodes even more predictable than they would have been already. That's it. Sometimes it doesn't even work logically. If this guy, who already knows most of the story because he was there, really cared to know the whole thing, why would they also tell him about some unrelated smoothie subplot that has nothing to do with anything? In the first episode, Lindy and Logan's parents come home to a trashed house and ask for an explanation.
I didn't do it!
Stop it. We are then brought back in time and are introduced to our other characters.
Don't talk about me like I'm a puppy.
Oh, it's okay.
Alright then. Eventually, both Lindy and Logan decide to hold a party and invite some Seth Wall guy, Lindy for love and Logan for popularity. Before their party starts, the twins are almost convinced their babysitter has died and almost don't call the police, but as good people decide to call the police while still holding the party and stashing away the dead old lady in the basement. It's revealed she isn't dead, obviously, but she still can't find out that the kids are having a party, and also a cop comes, not because of the babysitter, but because of the loud noise. Seth arrives and invites Lindy out, but she refuses so she can help her friends.
That sounds so good, Seth Wall. I have to help my brother and my friends right now. I'm really sorry.
Seth gets mad and insults her friends and brother, and Lindy claims Logan is a better man than he'll ever be, leading to another forced, sappy ending in present time.
And do you really feel that way?
Logan, of course. No matter what, you're still my twin brother.
Not to mention one final reciting of the famous catchphrase.
I didn't do it!
Most of these episodes are very uninteresting. I mean, this one gets the award for the worst special effects of anything Disney ever, so that's something. Then the second season arrives and they ditch the end at the beginning concept altogether, which may seem good because it was dumb to begin with, but then you realize that now all we're left with is just another Disney sitcom, and oh god, why? It's obvious the characters are meant to hold up the show here, but since they aren't interesting either, everything is bland. By the series finale, Jasmine and Logan end up together and we leave off with the inevitable group hug. I am so glad this one was short-lived with only 2 seasons, and I can so understand why. There is almost nothing special about this show. We've seen these character types before, we've seen these plots before, we've seen these romance subplots before. This is kind of a poor man's Liv Maddie. This guy's acting is awful, the theme song's lame, and yet again the jokes range from alright to bad. Olivia Holt's acting is one of the few positives, but overall I Didn't Do It is absolutely nothing special, and I wish Disney just didn't do it. Girl Meets World, a sequel to the 90s show Boy Meets World, is one Disney Channel show that I've heard semi-decent things about prior to watching it. With former experiences of the network in mind, I went in cautiously optimistic, and upon viewing, found that Girl Meets World is one of the sappiest, cheesiest, most melodramatic things I've ever watched. And wow, was it a breath of fresh air. Okay, I'm not gonna pretend like this show is great, it's nowhere near being great, but what's this? Over 3 seconds without a laugh track? Serious moments with no music in the background? Jokes that aren't always the worst? Am I in paradise? It's just nice to have something Disney Channel related that isn't obnoxious joke laugh track, repeat. The show deals with friends growing up and going through real life important issues that aren't just which guy should I pick for the dance. Now, don't think they don't do stuff like that as well, because they do, but at least we get something, at least there's a change. As far as characters go, these two are just Carly and Sam. This Lucas kid couldn't get more boring. Farkle was probably the most obnoxious thing about the show, and Augie is another "aw, he said something a child normally wouldn't say" character.
Will my drawings ever get any better?
Even despite them, with what I've had to sit through recently, this is a nice change. You should know I had no experience of Boy Meets World before watching this, so I checked out a couple of highlights and clips afterward, and the show seems actually good. Maybe a little cheesy, but it actually looks funny and emotional with some nice morals. Good on you, Disney Channel. You do have some pretty great sitcoms after— oh wait, no, this aired on ABC. It doesn't count. So close. In reality, Girl Meets World is nothing more than a ratings trap to bring back old fans and make a bunch of money. I mean, the finale is basically one big cast reunion of the original show. They even use old clips sometimes. There are better ways to make a drama without being repetitive. There are better ways to teach these lessons without forcing them on the audience. Girl Meets World is not a good show, but it's a welcome change of pace for me right now. Remember when I said our own Disney Channel show that I'll get to? Well, we've gotten to it. Following Shake It Up, KC Undercover is Zendaya's second Disney sitcom. The show follows the Coopers, a family of secret spy agents ridding their country of evil, doubling as a standard suburban household, forcing KC and the others to live a double life. In other words, if you've ever wanted to see what Danny Phantom, My Life as a Teenage Robot, Spider-Man, or other secret identity stories would look like if they were handed to someone at Disney Channel, you've come to the right place. It's kind of a live action, not as good Kim Possible, complete with the balancing school and spy work is so hard. I have to save the world, but whoops, I'm supposed to go on a date at the same time. Whatever shall I do? The pilot episode is kind of exactly that. It begins with Casey and her parents attending a fancy restaurant. No, I do not know why Casey is dressed like that. If it was to be undercover, why would she change back to normal a minute later? Whatever, so Casey identifies the suspect, we get an action scene, and then the rest of the episode is held 6 months earlier, deeming the entire opening to be completely pointless. Oh, and also confusing if you missed the 2-second message like I did the first time I watched. Then we're further introduced to Perfect Casey.
Casey has an A average, she's a black belt in karate, and she single-handedly retrofitted the whole house to run on solar power.
And her parents, the quirky Craig and loving Kira Cooper, as well as Ernie, Casey's younger brother, and the butt of every joke ever.
Top 5. Think fast.
You always
Sid have a knack for making girls go away?
Sorry, I make bad jokes when I'm nervous.
So you're always nervous?
At school, it's revealed there's a dance Friday and our main character is hesitant to go. Casey is then tested by her parents after school to see if she has what it takes to join them in spying. She does, and they reveal themselves.
And accounting isn't our only job. Honey, we're also spies.
For her first mission, Casey needs to identify and stop a young spy posing as a new student at her school whose goal is to stop all technology or something for some reason. They don't really explain most of these motivations well. Anyway, Casey finds the spy and learns he's going through with his plan at Friday's dance, leading her to ask him to the dance in order to get closer and stop him more easily.
You're like new and stuff, and there's this dance Friday night. What do you say we like go together? I know the electric cha-cha slide.
This fails, however, giving us the I don't know if I can do this scene.
You know what? Forget the spy stuff, okay? I'm done. Done.
Fine. It's your decision. But you really disappointed us.
To not disappoint her parents, Casey goes anyway, and we get something straight out of a Spy Kids movie.
Initiating fart sequence. Silent but deadly mode.
Really. The spy manages to capture Casey, but with the help of Ernie, she escapes with the evil plans. Her parents are proud, and Ernie's memory is wiped, forgetting Casey ever told him about being spies. Pretty standard first episode for this kind of thing. In the second episode, Ernie's introduced into spy work, and we get yet another sassy, "Aw, she says something a child normally wouldn't say" character, Judy, but at least this time she's a robot, so there's an excuse, I guess.
And do yourself a favor. Don't get all up in my grill again.
The series plays out from here how you'd expect, with a few changes and progression being made from time to time. I know earlier I described this show as something kind of like Kim Possible, but ultimately the best description I can give Casey Undercover is that it's basically a low-budget action movie in the form of a Disney sitcom. Emphasis on the low budget because, come on.
Casey, look out!
R.L. Stein's The Haunting Hour has better effects, and that's freaking R.L. Stein's The Haunting Hour. Not only that, but what low-budget action film is complete without horrible, horrible acting and terrible, terrible plot twists from the cartoonishly stupid villains?
Bottom line, Zane is no longer a threat to your family. You're all safe. Hey, let me talk to Zane. Tell him it's his son.
Who talks like that? Even the naming for things in this show can be so stupidly lazy. Like, it took me a while to realize that the organization the Coopers work under is literally called The Organization, and the other side they're fighting is literally called The Other Side.
Honey, I just got word from the organization. They want you to keep your cover alive. You've been recruited to join the other side.
There are many story arcs and revelations throughout the series as an action show would have to keep things interesting, making Casey Undercover seem almost fresh at first glance. Really though, it isn't. It's the same tired humor with the same tired characters, with even a concept we've seen Disney Channel do before. Not only with Kim Possible, but with Wizards of Waverly Place and Hannah Montana too. Luckily, Zendaya's acting has improved and the show as a whole is nowhere near as bad as Shake It Up. It could be worse, but Casey Undercover is still a dumb Disney sitcom with a few cheesy action movie tropes thrown in for good measure. Oh, yeah, this is still airing, so my opinion is technically subject to change, but it's probably not going to.
I know it sounds crazy, but time doesn't faze me.
Sid, wake up. Sid, wake up. Sid, wake up!
These flowers are for you, Sid. I'm giving her flowers, Chet. No, I'm giving her flowers, Brett.
I think we just time traveled.
But here's the thing. You don't love each other because of what you have in common. What you have in common is that you love each other.
Best Friends Whenever is a Disney Channel sitcom about two friends, Sid and Shelby, who accidentally give themselves the ability to time travel, which can only be done when both friends are in contact with each other and are thinking of a unanimous time to jump to. Now, despite what you may think based on my reaction to the first episode, this one is more of a mixed bag than anything else. I just lose more and more brain cells for every second I watch any of these. It's not personal. Anyway, why do I describe this show as a mixed bag? Well, taking a look at our characters, apparently best friends can't be best friends without having extremely opposing personalities. Shelby and Sid are the blonde one and the dark-haired one, the cheesy one and the tough one, the Carly and the Sam, the Riley and the Maya. Nothing we haven't seen a million times. Then we have Barry, a sciencey smart friend of the girls who for some reason lives in an RV in their backyard throughout season 1, don't ask me. He really isn't that bad. In fact, he's a decent character. He's the most interesting with the best lines, his acting is solid, and it's nice to have the intelligent character do more than just be the intelligent character.
It's awkward for me to sit here eating in silence. Please engage in mindless small talk.
That month-iversary dinner was pretty cool. Yeah, my mom's been so excited about it.
Good, like that.
And then we have Naldo.
How'd that pickle get there? I put it there.
See what I'm getting at here with a mixed bag? For every Barry, we have a Naldo. For every joke slightly too clever for Disney Channel,
We are here to meet our father. Our mom told us he works here.
So, what's your father's name?
Norm Marcus.
Thank goodness. I did not need that on a Wednesday.
we have
Yeah, don't you think Diesel would be happier living outside? We can't let him hit the streets. He'll fall right back into the thug life.
For any remaining smudge of decency, we have Brett and Chet. Seriously, kill me. Brett and Chet, the younger brothers of Shelby, are identical twins. And that's it. That's their whole character, that's their whole joke. They say each other's names.
Let's go finish decorating it, Brett. To the bedroom, Chet.
They finish each other's sentences.
Sid, we made you another cake to say. Sorry you dropped the first cake.
They're impossible to tell apart.
I will take Chet.
Nope.
Brett. And I will take Brett.
Nope.
Chet.
Being a twin shouldn't be a character trait. Oh, yeah, and it'd also help if they were funny.
Like I'm flying, Brett!
Like other Disney sitcoms, Best Friends Whenever does have a few story arcs that are only really dealt with during season premieres and finales. In season 1, we get a Saving the Future type arc, and in season 2, we get one about the past. The latter arc also adds a princess character to the main cast for a season, but honestly, I didn't watch enough to tell you how exactly it plays into the show. I did, however, watch the season 2 finale, which provided a conclusion to the arc as well as an out-of-place gender equality message.
Don't listen to her, she's a woman.
Of course he's sexist, he's from the past. As for a standard episode, many conflicts could easily be solved just by time traveling, and also none of this logic makes any sense because with time travel stories comes plot holes. I'm sure someone could write a novel about all the paradoxes this show made for itself, but I'm too lazy to complain. The strangest part about this show is still how mixed it is. It's almost like the creators know they're capable of more, but would rather make this and mock us.
Don't worry, buddy. You'll have your day. We had a nice moment there, but I feel like your app kind of cheapened it.
The show only got 2 seasons, and according to Google, isn't going to get any more, but at least we can leave off on a great big group hug. What an original send-off. Best Friends Whenever is nothing more than lost hope. I guess it's on the better side of predictable, unfunny Disney sitcoms, but it's still on the list of predictable, unfunny Disney sitcoms.
Here we go, we're leaving this city behind right now. Let's gather by the campfire.
Bunk'd is the long-awaited, much-anticipated, widely asked for spin-off series of Jessie. Yep, they pulled a Zack and Cody again, but this time instead of no Maddie, we get no Luke, and instead of a cruise ship, we get Camp Kikiwaka. Now, the 3 other Ross kids, Zuri, Emma, and Ravi, along with a few new faces, are going on all sorts of summer camp adventures. Why no Luke besides a few guest appearances, you may ask? Well, the show tells us he's at summer school, but in reality, his actor's just busy with other stuff. A step up, a step down, or no step at all, I really can't tell. In the pilot episode, we see the Rosses arrive at Kikiwaka, the same camp their parents met at, and we're introduced to the male Grizzly's cabin and the female Woodchuck's cabin. To get them out of the way, the returning characters are pretty much their typical selves. Emma still acts like Emma.
LOL.
OMG!
Ravi still acts like Ravi.
Greetings, bunkmate!
The only real change here is that since Zuri has grown up a little, she's less of a "aw, she says something a child normally wouldn't say" character and is more the troublemaker type here, which is much preferred, I'll give you that. The remaining Grizzlies are Xander, who reminds me of Girl Meets World's Lucas for how boring he acts, and Jorge, a kid whose first joke in the show is,
Trust me, you want me to sleep downwind, especially on burrito night? I once had a 23-minute fart.
and that's all you need to know about him. As for the Woodchucks, we've got Lou and Tiffany. Lou would be a fine character if she didn't talk like a dying cowgirl all the time.
I'm Lou, camp counselor and head woodchuck in charge.
And Tiffany, okay, Tiffany is just a walking, talking Asian stereotype. That's who she is, I'm not exaggerating. She spends her free time playing the violin, doing work, and filling out college applications because she's in fear of what her mother would do if she's not successful enough, giving her no idea what the word fun even means.
Tiffany, aren't you scared of the Kiki Waka?
Nope. Nothing's scarier than my mom if I don't get an A.
It doesn't even matter if you find this offensive or not, but if you have a character completely made up of tropes and stereotypes, you know you're doing something wrong. It's a new level of laziness. Okay, so then at some point in the episode, it's told to us that Xander, Lou, and Hazel, I'll get to her, are all counselors, and Ravi and Emma are training to be counselors, while Zuri and the rest are there just to spend time at camp. So then when Emma comes to join the bonfire, she sees Xander and falls in love, but uh-oh, this Hazel girl from another cabin is already all over him. In fact, Hazel's literally only in this show to obsess over Xander and rival Emma. Emma and Xander start bonding, so Hazel gets jealous and sends Emma a fake note telling her to meet Xander in the woods that night or something. Everyone finds out about what Hazel did and they go to find Emma, yada yada yada. They think they see a monster, blah blah blah. They escape the forest, and the episode ends with what's later turned into the theme song for the series sung around the campfire. With this intro and cheesy song, it's easy to tell that they're really trying to appeal to that nostalgia-y summer camp fun feeling, so parents can look back and be like, hey, this reminds me of that one camp I went to once. Memories are flooding back. On the other hand, this also seems like it's where most of the budget went to because there are actual shots and camera angles that look like they could be done by professionals. And hey, it's catchy, so whatever. As for the show itself, you know the drill. Unfunny jokes, some pretty bad acting, stories we've seen, and a walking stereotype. It's become apparent that Disney does not shy away from their formula even when they're changing things up. Casey Undercover is a Disney show, but with spies. Best Friends Whenever is a Disney show, but with time travel. And Bunk'd is a Disney show, but at summer camp. Season 3 is on its way, and you better believe I will not be tuning in. Oh, yeah, and if I were to compare it with Jessie, well, Bunk'd doesn't have this. But it's also missing Jessie herself, and every place in it looks like a set, so maybe they're on equal grounds here.
Sometimes it feels like things are out of control.
Stuck in the Middle is the first Disney Channel sitcom in 7 years that doesn't have a laugh track. This is not a drill. No laughs, no oohs, no ahs. I repeat, this is not a drill. And if Girl Meets World was a breath of fresh air, then this is a gulp of it, because you know what? When I watch this show, I feel like I'm watching a mostly innocent, below average ABC show. No, seriously, take the compliment. That said, not an ABC show with a revolutionary idea or anything. Being the middle child in a family of many is so hard, is a concept especially similar to shows like Malcolm in the Middle and The Loud House. In fact, about every stuck in the middle sibling can correspond with a Loud House sister, and there's even an episode in both shows about getting the best seat in the car. So it's not original, but at this point, do you think I care? The execution is what matters here, and for the most part, it's fine. In comparison to others on the channel, it's a decent show. Instead of the same tired sitcom camera work, we get something a bit more interesting. Instead of passing off screaming or a catchphrase as a joke, we have a majority of actual jokes that are at least amusing.
I know you don't have time to read parenting books or parent.
Instead of the constant use of canned laughter following almost every line of dialogue, we don't get a laugh track. This is more of a complaint with TV in general, but a laugh track really adds nothing to a sitcom, and it's nice to see it gone. Back on track, unlike the prior 8 or so sitcoms I've talked about, there really isn't anything obnoxious about Stuck in the Middle. Not that it's without its flaws or anything, the line delivery from Harley and Ethan can be weak, and do you get it? The joke is that they're a big family. In general, I'm not saying that Stuck in the Middle is a good show or that I'd even watch it in spare their time. Aspects like a few amusing jokes and non-repetitive camera work should just be the standard, but face it, with Disney Channel, they're not. Any speck of change feels refreshing compared to all the sameness. So no, Stuck in the Middle, like Girl Meets World, isn't a good show. It's an innocent, okay one. But when I'm willing to call an okay show a breath of fresh air, Disney, you need to step up your game. Unfortunately, I'm not sure what's to come is gonna make anyone more pleased. 9. That's how many Disney shows I've talked about in depth thus far. Now, some of these shows have been below average, others, bad, and some, yeah. But allow me to rephrase something. 9. That's how many Disney shows I've talked about in depth thus far that are not as bad as the one I haven't talked about. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Dog with a Blog. I'm not gonna lie, I saw this one coming. Why? Because it's a Disney Channel sitcom called Dog with a Blog about Stan, a talking dog who also runs an internet blog. Is this a joke? You know what, this is a joke, a 3-season-long joke. When I started up the first episode expecting less than the least, for a while I thought, what makes this worse than the rest? What makes this one especially bad? Maybe it's just another average...
Hey, look, it's me! I'm the dog! There's the sugar!
Kill me. Thinking about it more, this show does a great job at taking almost everything bad about the other shows and jam-packing it into one, including, but not limited to, bad acting.
Hey, it's about time I started acting like a brother.
Out-of-place emotional scenes.
You're just like every other selfish teenage girl who puts her own needs before her friends.
Well, you're not a regular friend, you're a dog.
A dumb character.
A plus B equals why should I care?
And aw, she says something a child normally wouldn't say character.
Look at me! I'm making hair angels!
Awful jokes and lines, some of the very worst.
My dog can really talk! Dog, say something. Oh, tell him that joke you told me!
Sorry! I had a mouthful of peanut butter!
And stupid-looking special effects. 2011's live-action Marmaduke film did a better job with their talking animals. Marmaduke. Actually, that's a good thing to compare Dog with a Blog to. One of those unoriginal, cheaply made, low-budget talking animal movies. It gives me this feeling that in some business meeting, a guy was just like, quick, Disney needs a new show. So another guy says, kids like dogs, right? Well, what rhymes with dog? Blog? Second guy says, sure, that'll work. Cue, look at the funny doggy doing human things jokes.
Jazz pause.
Stan's blog barely even plays a role in anything actually, scraping them from any originality they had to begin with. If it means anything, at least we avoided the finale group hug trope for once. Are we done here yet? Dog with a Blog is just about everything wrong with Disney Channel. I think that's enough said.
What would he write about if a dog had a blog?
You don't want to know, Steve. You don't want to know. So, Dog with a Blog was bad, from what I've seen, the worst Disney's ever done, in fact. However, one little tidbit I left out. The show premiered in 2012, before Liv and Maddie, meaning no, Disney Channel isn't going even more downhill, and I'll tell you this, there is hope. Hope called Andy Mack.
I'm standing on the edge, and everything I know.
Andy Mack is one of their most recent sitcoms, and the only one in this bunch I can call good. It's a teen drama about a girl who finds out her sister is actually her mother and her mother a grandparent. This is something respectable, with Disney quality jokes, no laugh track, and some real drama. A flowing narrative with more complex characters. Something that isn't the same. I know we haven't covered every show since Shake It Up. I was gonna talk about Austin and Ally, which is mostly boring and an advertisement for music, but ran low on time, so ran fandom isn't really a sitcom, and I'm not even gonna touch that one. So at this point, I guess I'll bring up the question again. Was Disney Channel bad after Shake It Up? Well, there's no sugarcoating it, it's been pretty horrible. But here's the thing, it wasn't much better before. Good Luck Charlie was good, not great. The Sweet Life shows were just passable. Hannah Montana was honestly awful. And Cory in the House, while a great anime, wasn't too great of a show. Sure, pre-Shake It Up Disney is arguably better than post, but what are we doing sitting here and talking about which side is superior when both are lacking? Disney, one of the largest, most well-known corporations in the world, not even with just film, but television, theme parks, and more, makes a TV network, and this is the best they can do? No. It's not, but it rolls in the paychecks and it works. The company purposefully changes its formula very little because it works. To these Disney executives, taking risks is something too unpredictable and they'd rather stay in their comfort zones. If this was any other company, I would be more understanding, but it's not any other company. You can afford to change things up and try new things, Disney, but choose not to instead, like a bunch of cowards. Why did I like these shows when I was younger? Well, that's just it. I was younger. Most kids will eat anything up, it's a fact, there's no changing that. But it's like the man himself always said, you're dead if you aim only for kids. Adults are only kids grown up anyway. Andy Mack is the first Disney sitcom since, I don't know, Lizzie McGuire, where it truly felt like something made for all ages to enjoy. That is, and always had been the special thing about the company. In general, the majority of these shows are just not good enough. Although the future may be looking up, as of now, Disney Channel is awful.